the elliptical flow problems are considered. So in order to best explain about it one, so where I am talking about the characteristics of the equilibrium problem. So let me take an XY plot, and if you see, so for example, it is bounded by the A length, this is bounded by B length, and this is bounded by the C length, and this is bounded by the D length. And whereas the elliptical flow problems, as we have discussed in the earlier ones, like in a hyperbolic or the parabolic in the earlier sessions, whereas the point P should be, so that means this point should make a contact with all the 4 points as far as the elliptical flow problem is. So that means here in this case, here in this particular case of elliptical one, so the flow distribution is equilibrium in all the directions. So that means in all the directions the flow need to be distributed. So here you can see on screen. So whereas the P being influenced on this particular AB, 4 side lengths has to be influenced. So that is how the elliptical flow problems are being considered. So that means it has to influence on the side A, it has to influence on the side B, it has to be influenced on the side C and the side D. So that is the case where we are dealing with the elliptical flow problem. So that means its influence should be available in all the directions. So the simple example in the subsonic case is, take a stone and put a stagnant water and put it into the stagnant water. Small mass put into the stagnant water, and you see that the disturbance of the waves would be transferring. In all the directions. That is also the best example for the subsonic case of an elliptical flow problem, where initially the velocity is zero. But at the final the velocity has been influenced on the 4 points or on the walls of it. The distribution of the waves have been transferred. The distribution of the waves have been taken place. So where we're now talking about the potential flows. When you're talking about the potential flows, the steady state temperature. So that is a steady state temperature distribution is happening in the solid material, and here in this case you can see an equilibrium distribution. That is a equilibrium stress distribution in solid objects applied. So that is under applied condition, these equations will be valid. Now the question comes, are we going purely into the heat transfer problems, or are we dealing with the fluid dynamic problems? No. As far as fluid dynamic problem is concerned, as far as the fluid dynamics problems are being concerned, yes, we are into the fluid dynamic problems, but a little bit deviation as far as the CFD is concerned. It has to relate with respect to the structures. So that is FEA, finite element methods, FEM, finite volume methods. Whereas this is being concerned, so will be a little bit deviation from the regular ones. That is not only fluids, but even the heat transfer with respect to the fluid, and heat transfer, and that even the load transfer with respect to the structures. So that particular cases, this would be the best utilized in case of the elliptical equation. So when you are addressing that particular flow problem with an elliptical equations. Now let us see, without much delaying about this one. So let us see about the what exactly this fluid flow problems are being talking about the elliptical equation. So as far as the fluid flow problem has been concerned, address the simple and the best example we can say that it is a Laplace equation. So what exactly the Laplace equations has been brought up? So the Laplace equation, where it is talking about the velocity potential function, del square phi is equal to 0, where in that velocity u is equal to del phi, where in that velocity u is equal to d phi. So that means del square phi is nothing but, here we can write it as, and this is generally known as the Laplace equation. Which you might have utilized in your fluid mechanics study. So in order to state whether that it is a fluid flow, possible case of fluid flow, or it is a compressible case of fluid flow, so we might have addressed this particular one by this particular elliptical flow or the elliptical equations. Now the question comes, so is it the only Laplace equation applications we have in the fluid? No. And here we have, in addition to this one, this is one such way to best talk about what exactly this flow problem will be related. So your elliptical equation might be writing it as x square by y square y square z square is equal to c. So you might be writing it like this, right? So but whereas in this particular problem, purely talking about the fluids, it is the resultant is known as a Laplace equation. And here in this particular elliptical equation, this will be purely depend upon the boundary conditions we are given. Now the question comes, why it is purely dependent upon the boundary condition? Because as far as the flow is concerned, the point influence in all the directions. So that is what we will be saying, that this is totally a boundary dependent solution. So that it is boundary conditions need to be defined. Now And we know that the disturbance in the particular point P affects in all the directions of it. Disturbance in the point P affects in all the directions below. Right. So in order to make it smooth, so that means if your boundary conditions are properly defined, if your boundary conditions are properly defined, your numerical solution will be getting it very easily, very easily. In some cases, this may be even in the discontinuous nature of the fluid flows also may be possible by using the elliptical flow problems. By using the elliptical flow problems. But if you talk about the history of this particular elliptical equations, if you are talking about the history of the elliptical equations, so in history, the elliptical equations were not so easily addressed. In history, the elliptical equations were not so easy to adopt it. So they were always going to the hyperbolic or the parabolic equation. But currently, with the advance in the mathematics, and its application by tools, by applications, we are being progressing even with the elliptical flow problems. So now, let us see what type of flow problems will be addressed in this one. What type of flow problems would be addressed, or what type of flow problems comes under this particular elliptical equations. One, it is steady subsonic viscous flows, and the other one is incompressible invisible flows are the best example or can be solved by using the elliptical equations. So steady subsonic viscous flows and incompressible invisible flows Now here on screen I have brought some steady subsonic viscous flows. What exactly the viscosity makes a difference in the fluid? What viscosity makes a difference in the fluid? So whereas when the fluid is viscous in nature, we know that when the fluid is viscous in nature, we know that there will be a flow profile would be changing. There is a flow profile would be changing in that particular fluid flow. Flow profile would be changing in that particular fluid flow. So that is how it is going to vary. So if you are taking a solid boundary, and if it is viscous fluid flow, that's definitely there is going to be a boundary layer present on that. There is definitely a boundary layer will be present in that particular fluid flow when you are saying it as a viscous fluid flow. When you are stating it as a viscous fluid flow. And if I am taking a best example of the pipe flow, so that means in between the two pipes, how the flow is being distributed, how the fluid flow velocity is being distributed. So in order to that will be the best addressing of this particular flow problem. So here if you see, yes. So because of the both boundaries, this particular fluid flow would be influenced. And if my boundary changes, to this one, so that means my entire fluid flow would get effectively changed. My entire fluid flow would get effectively changed with respect to this one. Right. So in case of contraction, expansion, all these fluid flows are being influenced because of the viscosity or viscous fluid flows, So this fluid flow, when you are on screen, when you are seeing it, so here I have brought a picture of pressure versus the pressure variation over the aerofoil. So here you can see, so here is it influenced by the point P where it is inside this particular one. So here is it influenced by the point P where it is available inside. So that particular fluid flow. So or you can see the vortex generated on this particular body. So these are all the best examples for the subsonic flows only, but they are having their fluid flow natures would be elliptical in nature. But the fluid flow which is resulting from that one can be best addressed with an elliptical fluid flow. If you are approaching with a parabolic problem, no, we can't address with that. Can we address the vorticity with the parabolic? No, because the vorticity is being influenced by the center point. What point is being influenced on the entire region? So about this axis, the flow velocities will be varying. Right. So this is being best utilized. The best demonstration of this one is by effectively changing the point P, or what is the energy available at the point P that effectively changes the vortex of this particular fluid flow. That is the best demonstration of where steady subsonic viscous flows are being best demonstrated by the elliptical equation. And another example is flow over the cylinder or the sphere. Here also you can see here complete fluid flow behind the body. The fluid flow behind the body is completely in the elliptical in nature, and in front it is parabolic in nature, and behind body it is elliptical in nature. So that is possible only when fluid is viscous. When the fluid is viscous, right? So let me annotate it on screen. Here if you see, but this is a case where I am showing you with an unsteady fluid flow, steady fluid flow. So don't worry about the time iteration which is taking in this place, but I just want to demonstrate how exactly the elliptical flow nature would be. But this would be the best example where you can see we're on the top and the bottom of this one. So here if you see, we're on the top and the bottom of this particular fluid flow is influencing this middle region. So because of the boundary layer, the flow has been accelerated more than the required. The flow is being accelerated in the nozzle flows. And if you see another examples of this one, that's a flow over the aerofoil. Flow over the aerofoil is being governed by the elliptical fluid flow, or from your this fluid flow around the aerofoil would be circulation. The fluid flow around the aerofoil would be under circulation. So that circulations can be addressed within a elliptical flow problems. Okay. So let us see the other part question. So that is about incompressible and the invisible fluid flows. See, we just see the first statement with an incompressible invisible fluid flows and steady viscous flows. And incompressible invisible flows, the best example I can say where you might have already modeled your equation. That's a mathematical way of modeling the equations. That is the best example is in a doublet. So where you are approaching with a mathematical way, so in order to define how the fluid flows over the particular cylinder, so where purely it is mathematically we have achieved that results, and then you can see how the fluid flow when it is invisible in nature. So that means behind flow and the bottom flow will be matching. So that has been represented here in this one. So the same flow when you are addressing with respect to some tools. When I'm addressing with respect to some tools, so there you can see how the velocity flow, how the pressure and top and the bottom is similar. So that means there is no viscosity available in that particular fluid flow. This type of flow problems can be best or well applied by using of the elliptical flows. Now coming to this particular, okay, all these applications are fine. But as far as my Mach number is concerned, in the earlier sessions we have discussed with respect to the Mach number, so that it is under root of b square minus 4ac. In that one we have addressed that if in case my Mach number need to be, so that means for elliptical case, so that means my Mach number should be less than 1. Okay, so that we are saying it is addressed with the subsonic flows. Okay, very well, that has been applied to it. But at the same time, as far as the definition of the Mach number is being concerned, that is given by the V by A. Now, how can we make the Mach number as less than 1? How can we make that Mach number is less than 1? How can we make this Mach number as less than 1? So that means your denominator need to be raised up. So that means the speed of sound can be raised up? No. So that is a fixed value. So that means we are limiting with our speed of sound. We are limiting with our speed of the object. We are limiting with our speed of our object in order to make the Mach number as less than 1. I'm limiting the velocity of the object to be very less, then only this particular equations are going to be valid. So that means the elliptical equations can address only with respect to the subsonic fluid flow problems, can be best matched. Now the immediate question comes, so you mean to say that in supersonic cases we cannot have elliptical flows? No, I doesn't mean that. Here I'm saying that where the velocity need to be lowered in order to keep that particular high value of it, or where I have to increase my speed of sound in such a way that where my Mach number becomes negligible, then only that type of flow problems can be addressed with respect to the elliptical equation. This is what we would like to conclude from the elliptical equation problems. We have